Okay, let's see if this is. Okay, welcome. Let's chat, ladies. We have a lot to talk about tonight, and I won't be able to see your comments or chat until afterwards. I have my webinar on. So anyway, I have my phone. If we're having any technical difficulties, somebody can text me, and then I'll see where that goes. This call will be recorded, so I will pass along that link on my Connie Marie Inc. Facebook page. So if you like that and follow along, I'll put that there after. So welcome everyone, and we are going to chat tonight, ladies. This is a 90-minute class, and oh my gosh, we don't want you to fall asleep. So that's why so many of you have people in your home. We're going to do the class together, and then you'll be able to chat after and maybe even try some products afterwards. And then, you know, if you have questions or whatever, you can all ask about those later, and I'll stay on the Facebook and texting afterwards. So if there's any specific questions, I can try and answer those as well. But anyway, I love this class. I have been teaching this for, oh my goodness, I bet over 15 years now. I'm very passionate about this topic, and I'll share with you why as we go through. But welcome everyone. If you could all do me a favor and mute yourself, go up into the upper right corner or down below in the lower left corner and mute yourself. That would be so helpful. And then we will be able to, because I'm still hearing people. So if you could do that, now that I have my share screen, I won't be able to do that. So I would appreciate that. So. Okay, so let's get rolling. So when we think about women, you know, what do we want? Well, we want to look good and we want to feel good. And when we do that, we're pretty productive during our days, aren't we? But take a look at these women. I mean, we are really something to marvel at. We're all unique individuals. We all have different passions. But the cool thing is we tend to be nurturers, and we want to edify people. And I'm just always amazed when we look around at how marvelous everybody is. And when we recognize other people's talents, and we are comfortable with our own, I think we all balance each other as a society. And so it's a joyous thing to be an empowered woman who makes an impact on the world. So as women in a whole, if we put us all in one package, we tend to have some common things that we want. We definitely want more time to pursue our passions. We want more freedom. We don't want to be locked into like this, you know, hours and hours at work. We want some freedom to be creative and fulfill our passions, and that. We definitely want more flexibility in our life. Our bodies, our lives go through these amazing transitions through the 100+ years we're on Earth. And so we want that flexibility so that we can live life to the fullest. We definitely all want that feeling of contribution, that we've made a difference. And then all the while we're being super women, Wonder Women. We want to find balance between our personal life and working life. And then I think as we go along and, you know, we really work it out in our day-to-day lives, we work it out at work, we put in this Wonder Woman effort. Sometimes we get lost and then we realize we want to utilize our creative gifts, our talents, and live our passions. And so we definitely want to work in an environment that fits all of these values and allows us to be creative and enjoy life. So what we have to realize though, and here's the key to tonight, is our physical health is what supports our productivity, our emotions, our drive, and our zest. You know, otherwise, I think you can all relate to this. This is what commonly happens. And I hope you're all laughing right now because I think we can all relate to those moments when we feel like this through time. And so realize though, as we feel these different things, symptoms are a signal that our body is out of balance. So what we are going to look at is the steps to reach balance and vitality. So the first thing we're going to look at is becoming the CEO of our own body. And then we want to remove the potential causes of the issues. Number 3, we want to decide how are we going to approach these issues? Are we going to go the natural route or are we going to go the medical route? And then how do we support the systems that are in charge of that area? So before we start, I want you all to write down, and some of you are in classrooms. We have over 300 people on this call tonight. So I'm really amazed that the technology is still working and I'm able to see a little bit of the chat now, but I don't see myself and I don't see you. So I'm assuming you're out there. So those of you hosting classes tonight, make sure everyone now can think of 2 concerns they're wondering about. And as we go through tonight, maybe they want to write down the oils or supplements that may help them balance that issue as we go along. So the 3 key points we're going to hit head on are becoming the CEO of our own body. And the key thing here, ladies, is when your body speaks, we have to listen. Don't mask the symptoms, listen to them and really think about the causes. And then consider that learning about your body, committing to the lifestyle habits, that is what's going to bring you vitality and health more than any other solution that you have out there. When we have a body in balance, that equals good health. That's the results we're looking for. We want to feel that vitality. We want to have strong emotions, and we want to live carefree and stress-free. So let's start with the basics. We want homeostasis. That means balance and harmony. Well, this chart comes from a book called, from John Lee, called What Your Doctor Will Not Tell You About Premenopause. And it shows how our hormones are intricately connected. And he says our hormones are like an orchestra. And if any of the players are out of balance, we do not have the harmonious sound of this beautiful orchestra. So we want to really remember that analogy, that we need our orchestra, all of the parts, to play together in harmony. So the story started long ago. And my body was not in harmony. I was 49 years old, and these ladies that you see here are my biking buddies. And we were going to bike in southern France and challenge ourselves to bike up the last segment of the Tour de France on Mount Ventoux, which is a 9 to 14% grade. Well, I had to get in shape. And what I found is I was what some people call flooding. I had heavy flow. I had mood changes. I had a large uterine fibroid. I had mood swings. I had psycho moments. I had all those 7 dwarf moments that I showed you earlier. I had them all. And the worst part, though, the flooding issue, I was not able to be on my bike as much as I wanted to. So I was determined to go on this trip. Well, I had 9 months to figure this out. And so I was very, very motivated to find answers. Well, I went to the doctor out of concern because in the recent history, I had lost some young family members to cancer. And I was scared, to tell you the truth. And I went in there just to make sure that nothing was wrong. And the doctor smiled at me and she said, "Honey, welcome to perimenopause. You're fine." So I said, "Well, what are the solutions?" And she said, "Well, you can have a hysterectomy or we can put you on birth control pills." And I knew that that was not going to be an answer, because I thought, number one, birth control pills, I know that increases your risk for breast cancer, and I certainly didn't want that. And I'm really not keen on just jumping into surgery when I didn't even know the cause of something. So I decided, I said, you know, give me a few months. I want to think about this and let me figure some things out. And so I left and I was determined to find some answers. So I read and read and read and read. So tonight's presentation is all on the learning that I did about my own body. And I want you to know that I changed all of I listened to my body and changed those symptoms to bring them back into balance. And I learned how to support them so my body could be vital again, have that vitality, and to stop and go back to a normal cycle and be the person that I wanted to be physically and emotionally. Well, the first thing I found out is that my body was the house of straw. If we think of our health journey in relation to the story of the 3 little pigs, I was the house of straw. Now, what was weird is I thought I was healthy. I exercised, I ate right. I did all those healthy things. Why was my body not responding? That's the interesting part. And in fact, Duke University studied, most people don't even know what healthy means. We think if we exercise, take a few supplements, and call it good, that's healthy. And they found out that a lot of people don't know the other knowledge that they need to know to be healthy. And so I really am excited to share this with you tonight. And what I started with my journey is I slowly moved to the house of sticks. And I may not still be at that perfect house of bricks, but I'm pretty darn close, and I'm keeping the big bad wolf out. In fact, I just went to Mayo Clinic and had an executive physical. Now, you could call me the long-term study for Young Living because I've been using their products for over 17 years. And I'm 59 years old, and I thought for sure, I had everything. 3 days, you guys, 3 days of checking everything at Mayo Clinic. And the woman, the female doctor said, oh my gosh, she said, everything's clean. She said, you are very healthy. And she said, you can go home and live your life. And she says, you have zero risk for breast cancer. You have zero risk for heart disease. You have zero risk. Now, what does that mean? Now, I know you're not magically protected, but what it means is I'm supporting my systems to do the best I can to keep the big bad wolf away. So that's all we can do is support our bodies. But I want to give you a few secrets tonight because there's a few things I didn't know 15 years ago when I had all these issues, and I want to share those with you and what key things will keep you healthy and vital too. So the first thing I did is I had to empower myself with education, and I had gut determination to become the CEO of my body because dang it, I was going to go on that bike trip, and I didn't want to be worried about, carrying a pack of tampons on the back of my bike. That was the last thing I wanted to do. So I wanted my body normal. So I said to myself, Connie, if your lifestyle has led you to this house of straw, then you need to find out the cause and do something consistently to counter that. And so I had to decide to make some changes. Now, we all know changes aren't easy. And that doesn't mean that I went crazy and became this like mega health person who can't relate to life. I had to find my balance, my way. And so I hope I give you hope and inspiration to become the CEO of your body and find balance and harmony. So here's the part that most people are missing. Now, if you're sitting back there going, oh, no, I know all about this. I know that there's toxins. I know all about this. That's awesome. But what I want you to realize, please pay the message forward and share this message with others because I guarantee they don't know that. Hold on just a second. I'm going to see if I can mute everyone. There we go. Awesome. Okay, so the first thing is what is causing the imbalances? Patrick Quillen, who's a PhD and the director of the Cancer Nutrition Centers, and he has a great book out there as well. He says toxins now accumulate in the human body faster than they can be eliminated, which means your body now needs assistance in detoxifying. Our bodies are so beautiful. They have their own natural cleansing mechanisms. We sweat, we pee, we breathe those cleansing breaths. We have these natural mechanisms to cleanse our bodies. But what Patrick Quillen is telling us, these toxins are coming into our body. Our skin is our largest organ. Anything that touches our skin is absorbed within 26 seconds and it bioaccumulates in fatty tissue. That means your body will go into chemical overload if we don't pay attention and support those cleansing systems. So he's urging us to assist your body in detoxifying. So I want to get to that tonight. Here are some things I didn't even know about. And these are some of the things that I used to use. And when I found out about these things, I went under my sink especially and took everything out and I put it in a garbage bag and I took it to our local transfer station where we take our garbage. They would not take these products. They said they are environmental hazards and had to be taken to a special place. So that was when I had a double aha to what was happening. How can they do that? These ingredients are at safe levels in that bottle. But what they don't tell you is every time we use them, they enter fatty tissue and they remain there until we use our natural cleansing systems to cleanse those out. Household cleaners are the most insidious of the disruptors. Don Colbert, who's a medical doctor, says these solvents can injure our kidneys and liver, and they depress the central nervous system. That's our responses. And also they're fat soluble, which means they enter our body and they're stored in fatty tissue, including your brain. John Lee, who's an MD who has dedicated his whole life to women's health, he has now passed away, but his legend lives on with information. He said these cleaning products are the most common source of potent xenohormones. Well, what are xenohormones? Xeno means false or mimicking hormones. So they're the hormones that mimic our real hormones, and they fool the body. And they enter the body with such ease through the skin, and they go into these fatty tissues, the brain, the myelin sheath, our fat, and they cause all sorts of disruptions in the body. The big question is, are these products making us fat? And the answer is yes. There are some studies here on obesogens, and these products have endocrine disruptors which affect the metabolic pathways, and that affects the thyroid gland, which is kind of your master gland that monitors all this. So what we want to do is we want to use products that don't cause harm, and we want to create a healing home, meaning we want to create an environment conducive to good health. And so we want to be aware of these things so that we can be the CEO and protect our bodies. There's another ingredient called phthalates, and a lot of these are fragrance fixers in products. It can be bath gels, it can be shampoos, it can be a number of things in our personal care products. It can be in cosmetics, and the number one is air fresheners. Did you know 75% of Americans use air fresheners? Those of you listening in Singapore or Europe, I'm not sure of the statistics in your country, but it may be worth a look, because I think people use air fresheners all over the world at that same percentage. And it's frightening because they contain phthalates, which affect the thyroid gland, which affect our metabolic pathways. So there's big concerns. So here's an example. This is a funny cartoon, but it shows how many people respond to this urgent news. There's so much research out there now to be aware. But here, he's the CEO of a company, and he says this: news, estrogen mimicking chemicals are in the environment, suspected of wide range biological abnormalities, including hermaphrodism, which is where there's dual gender, and lowering sperm count in human beings. And he says this: we in the business community prefer a cautious wait and see approach over the needless media scaremongering. Now, I want everyone to know that there's urgency in talking about this. That weird word, hermaphrodism, I'm not sure how to say it, that's dual gender. Do you guys know, I'm in a small town in northern Minnesota, Bemidji, Minnesota, and we have dual gendered fish between our two cities in the Mississippi River, and we are at the top of the food chain in the Mississippi River. Just think when it gets down to New Orleans. So there's concern for that. Also, lowering male sperm count in Minnesota from St. Cloud, which is the middle of our state, down to the southern state. 18 to 25-year-olds have a lower male sperm count. And when you think of it, that's farming community, a lot of things going on down there that affect our bodies. And so when we have these people who take this cautious wait and see approach, the time is now to share the message, because it will impact us now. And so I really urge all of you to spread this message, because it's very important, because there is a need. Here's some of the research to make sure that all of you do know this. Hold on, let me make sure. There we go. Here's some of the research to show that we do have a legitimate concern. That in a book called Our Stolen Future, which shares that these chemicals that we're talking about that are in our own personal care, our cleaning products, they block testosterone, they disrupt thyroid hormones that are necessary for brain development. They wreak hormone havoc. They cause some body's chemical messaging system to not work quite right. And so these are real concerns to be aware of. And our daily exposures to these synthetic chemicals do wreak havoc with our balance, our homeostasis, which is our goal for tonight's class. There's another word you hear thrown around there a lot, and it's called estrogen dominance. Well, that's basically the same thing we're talking about. These estrogen compounds are mimics to our real estrogen. We need our real estrogen, but these mimics come in and they confuse the body. And then it causes the body to have a high amount of them, and that's called estrogen dominance, which that's what I was experiencing. And that's why I was having so many out of balance type of issues. So what we need to be aware of is that most of these exposures are within our own homes, and that's something that we can control. So when you have symptoms, know that that's a signal that your body is out of balance. So we can do something about that. Now, if you have concerns, please go to your healthcare professional like I did, and make sure it's nothing that you need to be concerned about. And then when it's not, now you can take control, do the support that you need, and get your body back into balance. And luckily for me, I didn't need to go through the extreme in this case. I'm not against it if we need it, but if you can do it another way, it's very, very good for your body. So we're going to just review a little bit. We talked about becoming the CEO of your body and getting yourself educated. That's why I praise you, high five, for being on this seminar to kind of get you thinking, and so you can find your resources. The second thing is remove the potential cause. You just had some slides that show you what to look for, what to be aware of, and let's get rid of those. Take your sink, take it out from under your sink, put it in the garbage, and take it to the environmental hazard unit and get rid of those. Then number 3, we have to decide how we're going to approach that. Are we going to approach it naturally or medically? And so I'm going to start showing you some of the ways that we can support our systems if we want to try the natural approach first. So as we found out that we need to remove the leading cause, and that's our cleaning products. So we're going to jump back to step number 2, but I'm going to jump into step number 4 now, because you see as we go across the screen, I'm showing you how to replace all of those cleaning products with 1 bottle of the Young Living Thieves Cleaner. Now, if you're brand new to Young Living, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Young Living is a company that grows their own essential oils on their own farms, and they create blends. And there's one blend called Thieves, which is cinnamon, clove, rosemary, eucalyptus, lemon. And those oils are blended together, and then they're put together with a coconut surfactant to make this amazing cleaning product, which I have appreciated for 17 years now. Why did I choose this one over all the other options I had out there? Now, that's a good question. We all want to be good consumers. And if you're on here just listening for information, you haven't made up your mind yet, these are some of the things that I looked for when I was first looking for products that would support my health, remove the cause, and actually give me more health benefits even after cleaning green. Well, the first thing I found out was Young Living was a full disclosure company. That was a leading thing for me because the Thieves Cleaner, for example, every single ingredient had the green rating from the Environmental Working Group. Now, for those of you that don't know, that's the Erin Brockovich group. That's the one that she has always promoted and such. And I think that's a really big deal that every ingredient has the green rating. So as a woman and a mom and a community person who was very concerned about the environment, this was an important factor to me. Full disclosure means they have to reveal every ingredient. Most companies say, oh, I'm green, but they don't disclose everything on there. So that was a concern for me. I wanted to know. The other thing that was cool for me is the synergistic blend of Thieves is immune supportive, even though it's powerfully effective as a cleaner. So I love that not only was I cleaning effectively, but now I got added benefits with the cinnamon, the clove, the rosemary. Oh my gosh, now even my kids could help me clean. In fact, I have a girlfriend who was an AP biology teacher, and because 1 out of 4 students were asthmatic, she began to use the Thieves Cleaner in her classroom to clean the labs with some very important reasons to clean effectively, and she found the Thieves Cleaner was superb. And so now the students could even clean the labs. So you're going to find this an outstanding choice if you're looking for something for yourself. Then a very important fact to me, but less as important as the benefits, but this is a big one. It literally saved me half of my cleaning budget. If you look at the left, there's a lot of products that were being used, and they were harmful to my health. And now if you look over to the right, there's one bottle and it does everything. So also though, if you just compare apples to apples, the Thieves Cleaner is concentrated. So if I looked at Clorox Greenworks or another green brand or even a Pine Sol, I could still save half of my budget, because if I diluted it correctly according to the instructions, I saved half of my cleaning budget over the next months ahead. That bottle of Thieves, I have a decent size home, and that bottle would last me 7 to 8 months. So it was very, very economical. So step 3, we're looking at which choice are we going to do, and I happen to choose the natural way first. I was going to really look at lifestyle support. So I started looking at, since I found the Young Living Cleaner so superb, I started looking at the essential oils and how do they support the systems. Well, this C. Norman Shealy, who's an MD, was speaking in Minneapolis. And so I thought, well, that's cool. I couldn't go to Minneapolis, so I decided to buy his book on Amazon. And so you see his book there. Take a picture if you want to. But he says regular use of essential oils helps to rebalance body systems. And here's a big one for me, improve emotions. So I was all over that one. And he says they're very effective to alleviate occasional normal symptoms. Now remember, we're always talking about our things in the normal range. If you have something serious, by goodness sakes, go have it checked out. But if we know what we're working with, like I did, I just decided to let's support things naturally first. He also said that they're very helpful in reducing stress. You know, the normal muscular pains with exercise, supporting digestive functions. How many of you deal with that? And that's a big women's issue because our estrogens, I hope you can see I'm patting my stomach, our estrogens are metabolized in our digestive tract. So it's very important for us to realize that our digestion is very important for women's health. And also you can see the other things that they support. Here's another book I got on Amazon. James Balch, who's an MD, Prescription for Natural Cures. He says geranium and rose oils are balancing. Jasmine lifts the spirits. Lavender, patchouli, ylang ylang, calming. They're actually very good for libido. They're very good for the skin. They're good for beauty. All of these things. So take a look. It's fun to read about those things. So now those of you who may not have heard of essential oils before, maybe we better talk about what are essential oils. So essential oils, if you take a leaf of a plant from the garden, so let's say I go out to my garden, there was basil out there today, peppermint, and if you just take the leaf and squish it between your fingers like this, you get a residue. That's the essential oil within the plant. But essential oils can come from steam distilling the bark. They can come from the rind of the fruit. They can come from distilling the flowers as well as the leaf. But the essential oils are the aromatic essence within the plant. Essential oils, if we look at the chemistry of essential oils, you know, we all know that we're all made up of carbon and oxygen and nitrogen and all of these things that we learned in high school biology, right? Well, oils are mostly carbon-based. Now you can read different books, chemistry books. I'm not a chemist, so don't, you know, you need to look this up yourself, but they're carbon-based. My biology friend has told me they're 70 to 80% carbon. That's why oils are so cleansing for the body. So remember when Patrick Quillen said that we need to support the body's cleansing, and Don Colbert said we need to support the body with their natural cleansing processes. Well, when we use the oils every day, we put them on our skin, maybe we put them in our water and we drink them down, or we breathe them through a diffuser. They go into our body and they're kind of like a magnet. And then they help our body to cleanse that out. And we know our natural cleansing mechanisms. We sweat, we pee, we poop, we breathe cleansing breaths. We, you know, if we're sick, we vomit out toxins. You know, there's all sorts of cleansing mechanisms of the body, and essential oils support those cleansing mechanisms. They support the natural processes and functions of all body systems as well. They have a role in balancing our hormones, neurotransmitters, enzymes of our body. They have their own nutritional components. So like if you went to the garden, got a bunch of basil, chopped it up and put in your spaghetti sauce, you're adding nutrients. Well, in the dead of winter, I can't go out to the garden and get my basil, so I might put a drop of the basil essential oil because it's still a living plant in that oil, and I can use that for vitality in my cooking. Essential oils help support and balance all systems, and they're cleansing by nature. Young Living stands behind their standard called Seed to Seal. I want to encourage every one of you, go to www.seedtoseal.com and really look that over. Young Living is so unique. I am so proud that we basically are a farming company, and Gary Young knows the art and the science to growing an amazing oil that has optimal constituents, and with optimal constituents you get optimal results. And so read more about it. It's fascinating what Young Living goes through to make sure of their quality commitment. So for example, cypress has over 280 nutritional constituents. It requires a maximum of 24 hours distillation at 265 degrees with 5 pounds of pressure to extract and preserve all 280 of those constituents. Now, alternating that, if somebody doesn't know that and hasn't had the experience of years and years and years of the art and science, they do it high heat to do it faster. They do more pressure. They pull it out in a shorter amount of time, and they end up with 20 constituents. Now you tell me, they both may be organic, but remember, optimal constituents gives you optimal results. So remember that. So let's look at some other differences. 98% of the world oils produced in the world today are used in the perfume industry or the cosmetic industry. So preserving the nutritional value doesn't matter to them. By steam distilling it fast and hard and whatever, they want quantity and not quality. And whatever they don't use, they sell to other companies. And there are some essential oil companies that buy those. Now, every oil has some therapeutic value, and it's okay, but it's like buying a good olive oil. If you buy a cheap olive oil and then buy an expensive olive oil, there is a difference in quality, and we all know that. The poor quality one is probably mixed with a canola oil. It's still called olive oil, but they had to cut it somehow. There's a rich taste to a real good quality olive oil. So the same is true with oils. We can say the same thing about a good wine might be a good analogy. You can go in and have this cheap-ishy, sugary Annie Greensprings wine, or you can have a nice dinner wine. And there's a big difference because there's an art and a science to creating good quality wine, just as there's an art and the science to producing great quality oils. Now, some of you may not know this, but there is not enough lavender in the whole world to go around for the demand. So did you know that lavender is being created bioidentically in a lab, and there's some top oil companies selling it as real lavender? Now, bioidentical means chemically they created it in a lab and it's darn close. But we all know that God knows all the little intricate things that make that into a beautiful plant that our body has this natural affinity to use. So it's our bodies that will know the difference. Yes, it'll have some therapeutic value, but not the quality of something real from the garden. So be careful, because some of these other oils can be toxic. And so this is why myself, when I was looking to support my own body, I read everything. And Young Living came out to a company I trusted, and something I would put on my body, in my body, and something I trusted with my kids. Another cool thing about therapeutic grade is each oil has its own blueprint. It's just like our thumbprint is very unique, and the same is true with plants. Different things can affect them. So each year your peppermint is going to smell a little different because it depends on the soil, it depends on the climate, it depends on how the little bees were going around and doing their little pollinating. It depends on the timing of the harvest. It depends on how much rain it got and the distillation process. So know that your oils are pure when they don't always perfectly smell the same. That means they're natural. We can use essential oils aromatically, breathing them in. We can use them topically, and we can use them internally. No, the Young Living oils can be taken internally, but for convenience and for the FDA likes things labeled separately. So our peppermint oil or our lemon oil, whichever oil you look at, has a colored label for aromatic and topical, because that's under the licensure of cosmetics. And then the other one is internal, and that's a white label, and that's our Vitality line, which means it's approved to use internally. So, but realize our little secret is we know they're the exact same oil, but we want to make sure that they're labeled correctly too. Now remember, when we're using oils or oil-infused nutrition, we cannot prescribe or treat or cure. What we're doing is we're supporting our systems to act at their best level. A book that I recommend that's easy to read, it's a very pretty book, but it goes through each of your systems and the supplements and oils that will be supportive for each system. So if I'm concerned with my respiratory, I go to the respiratory section and I can read about my respiratory. And it goes through each of the systems so you have a good reference. It's very inexpensive. You can go to Life Science Publishing, and the website is www.discoverlsp.com, and get these amazing books. Just some quick look at essential oils and body systems. This is kind of small, but you can see over on the right, it says reproduction. Notice that peppermint is very good for male and female. And so that's a good oil to start with if you don't know what to use. And you can see that the other systems are benefited by your starter kit. So if you're just starting, there's oils for every system. Another oil that's very supportive for female and male would be your frankincense and your lavender. So take a look at your starter kit and you will find some great oils in there to use. Every one of them is beneficial, so you will enjoy that for sure. One of the key things I want to make sure that we're all paying attention to is optimal constituents, means optimal results. So sometimes a massage therapist will buy a cheaper peppermint because they go, oh, well, I'm going to save $5. But when you break it down, if there's 200 drops of oil in a peppermint and you're saving $5 and you divide the drops into the price, and it ends up being 10 cents a drop or whatever it figured out to be. So let's say your therapist used 5 drops, that's 50 cents. What I would say to that therapist, you mean for 50 cents you're willing to use a substandard oil on my body? I think I either need to take a look at another service or bring you some oils so that you know the difference between quality, because we don't want to use a substandard oil on the body, because remember, whatever goes on the body goes in the body. So if you can't drink it, then don't put it on your skin. So most oils in the store say do not ingest. And if they say do not ingest, then do not smell them and do not put them on your skin, because there's something that's not right if you can't take them. So that's very important for me as I was choosing what I needed. Now, going back, my body was serving as an alarm clock. I needed to do something because my doctor said, well, the easiest way to do that was to do a quick hysterectomy or to go on birth control pills, and those created risks for me. And so this alarm clock was really bothering me. And so I wanted to really dedicate now, not only to oils, not only to using green cleaner, but I needed to look at other things as well. So before I get into the nutrition, I just want to go through some alarm clocks very quickly. Something that's very normal and we can talk about is PMS. All of us go through that. And realize, though, it's a symptom that there's imbalance. So we want to find, what does our body need so that it's not so extreme. So one of the things, going back to C. Norman Shealy, he says, maybe try this little recipe that he has. He has 10 drops of geranium, 10 drops clary sage, 10 drops bergamot, and massage it or put it in a bath. And so if you know somebody that has PMS, this is a recipe I would suggest that they put on every day and see if that balance comes into action. Now, I found it very convenient. There's Young Living has an oil called Joy, which was already mixed. So that was very convenient for me. So I used it as a perfume, and that worked really well. When we're balancing the body, remember, 1 drop is plenty. Like, for example, 1 drop of peppermint is equivalent to 26 cups of peppermint tea. So 1 drop is usually enough. But when we have imbalances, sometimes we have to supersize it for a few weeks until we get to balance, and then we can go back to the normal number of drops. So here's another grouping of 3 oils that was very helpful for me: the Progescence Plus, the Dragon Thyme, and then the Joy that I just spoke about. On the left, there's a list of oils, though Endoflex is another one that a lot of people get good results with. And you can put that right over your thyroid area if you want to, or over the kidney area. Lady Sclereol is lovely. One oil that I used on my feet is Sclare Essence. Now, I have to tell you, that is a stinky oil, but it worked. I needed to raise up my good estrogens and bring up my progesterone so that I was balanced and so I could keep good bone health. And so one of the things I used was that stinky Sclerescence. I put 10 drops each night on my feet, but it's a very wet oil. I don't know how to explain it, but Sclerescence is very wet. It doesn't soak in like the other oils. So I would have that chair that has the leg rest, and then I would put it on and just let my feet dry for a little bit. And I did that for 2 months until I felt I could feel the balance coming back. And then I went back to the Lady Sclereol, which is just beautiful in balance. Here's my friend Kathy. She had the kind of normal hormonal headaches every month, and she tried everything, this and this and this and this, and kept working. And finally, she tried the Dragon Thyme, and that worked for her, and she was thrilled by that. Did you know 30% of women have lumpy breasts? There's a name for that. And so always make sure that you check it out, have your physical exam, and that, but just know that that is normal for a lot of things, but make sure you check it out. But one of the things I learned for myself is by using the Young Living Progessence, which helps to support my normal progesterone, that was significantly useful oil for balancing a lot of things. I had a grapefruit size fibroid. I had all sorts of things. And in 3 months, my body responded beautifully to the balance of the support of these different things: nutrition, lifestyle, exercise, all of that together. And I think you will find it helpful too. Here's another lady who talked about the sclerescence and the endoflex, and she liked the pregnenolone cream. As when we look at the beginning, that hormone chart that I showed you in the beginning, pregnenolone is your precursor hormone for all other steroid hormones. So that's why you need cholesterol in your diet, good cholesterol in your diet, so that it can make its pregnenolone as it's supposed to. But sometimes our bodies need a little support in that, and Kathleen found that very helpful. So for women, Progessence Plus, Sclerescence, Clary Sage, Dragon Thyme, Endoflex, Ylang Ylang, Sensation Oil, Joy Oil, those are great oils for balance. Supplements though, ladies, we gotta have supplements. PD8020, I still take PD8020. It's very helpful for the DHEA, which I needed a little bit of that. And also for some pathway things that you can read about in different books. Balance Complete is important for more fiber. When that's out of stock, I use the Pure Protein, but the Balance Complete is excellent. Omega Gies, ladies, you cannot be without the Omega Gies. Ningxia Red is your supercharge. Remember we talked about good digestion? We need these healthy things in our body so that our digestion works well. So those are just some things to kind of get you started thinking. I should add one more thing to that list, and I think it's critical, and that's enzymes. Write this down, Essential Zyme 4. Ladies, seriously, when we think about it, if our digestion isn't good and our enzymes, we're not eating enough raw food, we need enzymes. Because what happens is that if we don't have enzymes, it goes into belly fat, and we don't want that. Where if our digestion is working and we've got good enzymes, it goes to energy. Well, I don't know about you, but I want energy and not the belly fat. So something to think about. Essential Zyme 4, but get your enzymes, very important. Dan Purser was the developer of Progessence Plus. He's a medical doctor, and he says all of this stuff. He just went on and raves about why he developed that for women. He says it dramatically helps women. And Progessence, oh my gosh, it smells so beautiful. It does a lot of balancing, ladies. Everyone should be on Progessence if you're over the age of 35. My daughter, who's 27, uses it in and out depending on her own balance. But over the age of 35, the Progessence Plus would be a really good idea, according to Dan. It supports the neural processes, the normal processes of neurons. It's really good for the brain. So this progesterone, that's why we need it in our bodies. And our bodies create progesterone. It's wonderful because it helps our cognition, it supports our mood, it supports normal processes of the mitochondria function, everything. It's really good, stuff. And so we need to support our bodies so that it keeps doing its thing in creating the balance of all of our steroid hormones. Here's another friend of mine, Brenda. She said she was getting very discouraged with her health. She was a young woman in her 40s, and she said her doctor recommended an estrogen pill and then a birth control pill, and she was having so many side effects. And now she said, I have been feeling so well. Her flow, she had the heavy flow like I had. Her flow is normal, no more cramping. And she said, and I don't seem to notice any changes in mood prior to the period. She says, what a blessing. So there's hope, ladies. So really focus on lifestyle and you'll see the benefits of that. So this is what I call women's health assurance. We all pay for health insurance, but that's sickness insurance. So I want to encourage each of you to invest in health assurance. And you're going to save money over time because believe me, you're going to pay for it on the preventive side or you're going to pay for it in the copay on the sick side. I would rather pay for it on the front side. So as we said before, remove the causes and replace all of your cleaning products and hand soaps and hand sanitizers, which have all of that antibacterial stuff in it that harms the thyroid and the balance. Get rid of that and use the Thieves line instead. That's the most beautiful home line anyone can imagine. And that little section there is going to last you months and months and months. And so don't be afraid to invest in that and you'll have it for a long time. I always say add on Progessence Plus. And ladies, I'm just going to say, I can't say it all, but I want to say to you, use the Femagen. Femagen is your friend. You are going to feel fantastic putting Progessence Plus and Femagen together if you're over the age of 40. Believe me. So we can have a little side conversation, but take that as that's something that worked for me. I just have found that so beneficial. So the good news, the hope and inspiration I hope to give to you is when my body spoke, I listened, and you can too. 12 weeks, listen to this, 12 weeks consistently will make a mega difference to you too. I chose to remove the root cause. I chose to support my body systems. However, I continue with these two and then just the regular life supportive products that I find so beneficial with Young Living, especially the Thieves line. And I feel wonderful. I have my vitality and I got my clear bill of health from Mayo Clinic, head to toe, literally inside and out. They went inside, yes. And it was all great stuff. So I want to encourage you that we can have great health when we look and focus on lifestyle. So now we are 60 minutes exactly. So hang with me because remember I told you it's 90 minutes. But this is such great information. I didn't know how we could slice it up because we wanted to make sure that you had it all. So now let's just take a little bit of look at the nutrients, but where it affects our emotions, our stress level, and our fatigue. So we all have realized life has changed. We are multitasking like never before, and we're exhausted, right? Stress, emotions, fatigue. We end up looking like this, right? So we want to be the cool cat. So we got to do something. Well, let's kind of get a little background first before we decide what we're going to do. Serotonin is one of our neurotransmitters, And that's one of the popular drugs out there, the serotonin drugs. Well, let's just take a look at this first before we go jumping into taking a lot of meds. Now, check with your doctor. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying you may be able to support some of those emotions with nutrition. So let's find out. So serotonin is crucial to feelings of well-being. That's why all of these antidepressants known as SSRIs have gone skyrocketed. So we want to kind of take a careful look at that as a society. But again, make sure that you're always talking to your physician. So for me though, I wanted to feel fabulous. And what I learned is we have to start thinking digestion. Now here's the big spotlight, everybody. Pay attention because it's flashing. 95% of the body's serotonin is housed in the gut. So guess what? When you're constipated or you just don't have good digestion or something's wrong with your digestion, you're messing up your feel-good hormones too. So we gotta think digestion. Serotonin acts as a neurotransmitter and a signaling mechanism. The digestive process begins when a specialized cell squirts out serotonin into the walls of the gut. Man, and the science behind it, there's 7 types of serotonin. You've got to ask some scientists about this, but it's pretty amazing when you think of it. The receptors then in turn communicate to the nerve cells to start the digestive enzymes flowing and to start moving the intestines. So think about this. Digestion correlates with cognition and productivity. Digestion also correlates with stress and anxiety. Oops. So let me go back here. So Dr. Emran Mayer, professor of medicine, physiology, and psychiatry at the University of California says this: the majority of patients with anxiety and depression will also have some sort of gut issue. And there's the link if y'all want to look at that. So we want to look from the inside out. What we put in our bodies is just as important as what we put on our bodies. So we're back to the 3 little pigs. I bet all of us now, we know enough information to bring ourselves from this house of straw to the house of sticks, and you may even be on your way to building your house of bricks. So let's continue. We got to talk a little bit about stress. Cortisol, the queen of the stress hormones. A stress-filled life, lack of sleep, age, environmental and nutritional stresses, lack of exercise because we don't take care of ourselves, we're too busy, and caffeine driving, they drive cortisols to a very dangerous level. So, did you know, here's another news flash, cortisol inhibits the growth of the beneficial microflora in the intestines. That's why we take probiotics all the time, because we're under so much stress and we don't eat enough raw food. And so our microflora tends to get messed up. So these essential bacteria support our immune system. They create our B vitamins, and they help the absorption of minerals like calcium, iron, and magnesium. So the decrease in the microflora of our gut, that's why it results in more colds, more sore throats, headaches, all of that. If you're getting cold after cold, or you have an issue after issue and you're not well, your immune system also starts in your gut. Your gut is so important. So think about your microflora. You need to build it up. So probiotic is a good way to do that. Eating lots of those fermented foods. drinking kombucha. All of those things are good for your microflora of your gut. So let's continue with stress. Physical and emotional causes free radicals. And how that works in the body is they trigger these free radicals to cause damage. And it's like rusting on iron, or it's like an apple that turns brown. That's from oxidation. And that's sort of a good analogy in what happens to our bodies if we allow these free radicals to go unchecked. So the step 4, the last step that we're going to look at, is support the systems of the body by flooding the body with nutrients. Flooding the body with nutrients. I was just doing some personal growth things for just for life. And one of the things, I can't remember because I was looking at 3 books at once. It might have been Louise Hay's, but she said, nurture and nourish your body. And don't get hard on yourself, like, oh my gosh, I gotta lose weight, or oh my gosh, my body's just out of shape. Oh my God. No, that's not uplifting. We want to say, I'm on a journey to nourish and nurture my body. So I'm going to give it the good things. I'm going to flood it with nutrients. And when you flood your body with nutrients, your body will respond. You're going to feel good. You're going to look good. You're going to be strong. And it's going to go into balance. So give it some time. Give it some weeks, some months. You can't run a marathon in a few weeks. It's going to take you several months to get in shape for that. Same thing with this. So flood your body with nutrients. Powerful. Nutrients is powerful. And one thing I've learned about Young Living products, they're nutrient dense. And here's a little secret. Newsflash, newsflash, are you hearing me? Oil-infused nutrition. You can never outperform oil-infused nutrition. So let's take the Ninja Red, for example. There's lots of good nutrient dense juices out there on the market. Ninja Red is just good, dark, squished berries. Yay, drink them. But why do people get better results on Ninja Red? Why is that? There's a little secret. When you put essential oils into nutrition, what did we learn about essential oils? They're mostly carbon, right? Carbon is very cleansing, and it supports the natural cleansing mechanisms of the body. What happens when our body is cleansed? Now it can assimilate our nutrients better, right? So when you have oil-infused nutrition, think cleansing. So my Ninja Red I think of as a tonic. I drink that tonic down because it's going to do good things for my body. And as I was saying, that Louise Hay's taught us, nurture and nourish your body, and it's going to do great things for you. So Ninja Red, Essential Zyme 4 I talked about, Omega Gize, because we need good brain oils, right? And again, you get more assimilation when you have oil-infused nutrients. Life 9 is your probiotic. That's going to help restore your body. And I happen to like sulfurzyme, hair, skin, and nails. If you want beautiful hair, beautiful nails, and beautiful skin, use the sulfurzyme. And if you have a dog or a horse or any kind of animal, hair, skin, and nails, they'll have a beautiful coat if you want to give them a little sulfurzyme on the side and a little Ninja Red. So let's think about our brain for a second, because we want energy. So look to the left there. What our brain needs to function properly? It needs some fats. That's why we take our omegas. But we also want to eat good fats, olive oil, coconut oil, those types of fats. Water, we need water. I'm always pushing, I gotta drink more water. So I'm always finding ways. And that's why putting the oils in your water is a great way to do that. Glucose is a little sugar That's why your Ningxia Red has fruit sugars, the dark berry sugars, not like sugar. And so that's really good for your brain. Also your foods and stuffs too. Vitamins, we need the vitamins from our foods, but sometimes we need to supplement according to how we eat. So if you're not able to eat all of the things that you need to eat, and then you might need to take a supplement. So think about that. But emotions are related to brain function. So realize amino acids are critical for the optimal interplay of the mind and body. Here's two medical doctors who talk about amino acids are powerful tools for psychiatry because they convert to or are brain neurotransmitters. And this other medical doctor talks about omega fatty acids are critical for the optimal interplay of mind and body. Again, but in this case, he's talking about their the base for which hormones are created, and they regulate the neurocircuit of the whole entire brain and body. So what I've read, and again, empower yourself to read and learn about your own body, but what I had read is that when people have these kind of like swings and they just don't feel like they have the clarity or the function they once had, or maybe they just don't feel the vitality, most of the time they're missing amino acids and omegas. So get yourself some good protein, get yourself some good dark berries, get yourself some good omegas, and you're gonna feel awesome. Okay, gotta get down, gotta get in the mood for romance. Here are some of the oils that will be very helpful for that. Also, for those of you slim and trim, I had so many people asking about that. So in the Aroma Clean book, if you go to www.discoverlsp.com, Life Science Publishing, you will find the Aroma Clean book. And Aroma Clean is on supporting the cleansing mechanisms of the body. So yes, we need the healing home, but we also need a body that optimizes its cleansing actions. And we do that through nutrition. So there's the Slim and Trim recipe using the Juva Cleanse oil and Citrus Fresh oil in that book. So order that book. It's only $4.95 on Life Science. Oftentimes they have a sale, so you might even get it for less. If you're a preferred member, it's only $3.50. And it's got great information to help know the cleansing mechanisms of the body. Also a little bit on the things we talked about tonight. And it also tells us, how do we afford these products? How do we afford it? And so you're going to find that little book is an amazing little book to help you understand the value of moving towards this vitality using our lifestyle. Two YouTube channels that I like to follow, Dr. Lindsay Elmore and Dr. Jim Bob Hagerton. Jim Bob has the Essential Oil Club on Facebook, but find both of them. But I like Jim Bob's Ningxia Red, Why It's the Bomb. That's a really good one. And then Lindsay Elmore talks about the master formula, which is our vitamins, and the Ningxia Red. Seriously, watch these videos. Don't get off on a goose chase now and watch, like go off and watch all of them. Just watch these two Ningxia Red ones and use them to share the message of why Ningxia Red is the bomb, but also the master formula. You're going to find that's a great vitamin. Thyroid support, your oils, of course, clove, myrtle, spruce, endoflex, ledum, those are great. I like to use Thyromin. Now my daughter, she's 27, she also uses Thyromin on and off like I do. When I went to Mayo, they checked my thyroid. It was in perfect condition. I'm 59 years old, guys, and it was still operating like a young woman. And I'm telling you, I don't do it consistently. I do it once in a while. And it's very good. I know my daughter says she can always tell when she has more hair falling off during the shower, then she starts to use it a little bit more. And I found the same thing. And then you feel good. So use it for a few weeks and then just go off of it again until you feel that good balance. It's supportive, so it's not like you're taking something you shouldn't take. So try it out and read about it first and then try it out. Also, supplements that go with the Thyromin, I think Endogize, Femigen, those are some of my favorites. So I think you might help find that too. Healthy breasts is something we have to talk about, ladies. We gotta be good to our girls. And so once a quarter, you should do your your own breast exam, but use your oils for once a quarter for a week. Use your oils, frankincense, myrtle, sandal. I think frankincense and sandalwood are probably my favorites to use on the breast, but you can use the others. Progestance Plus is good. Sometimes I even put it on the underarm too for good absorption. But I've been doing that for years and years, once a quarter. And I had good examinations at Mayo Clinic. Everything was good. I am at zero risk. And so I feel really good about that. Now, we all know there's lots of risk factors that pertain to that. So that doesn't mean we're immune. We have to all be vigilant all the time. Our genetics play a lot in that too. Our mutations that have been passed down to our children or that our parents passed down, those are already in us. So we want to support a healthy lifestyle so those risk factors never become a worry. And so just really focus on paying attention to breast health and talking about it openly, because I think we need to really do that to keep women making sure they check themselves, getting their exams and taking care of themselves. Also, I love, again, good digestion, because one of the best things you can do for healthy breasts, here comes the news flash, news flash, news flash. The best thing you can do for healthy breasts is have a good digestion, because your estrogens are metabolized in the gut, and we don't want all those estrogens reabsorbing in the body. So get good digestion, and that's going to be one of the best things you can do for healthy breasts. So another thing, sleep is always an issue. And one of the things I was concerned about is how many young women are on sleeping aids. Guys, life should be meant to be joyful. So let's control the stress. Yes, we have careers, we have families, we are Wonder Women, but we also have to learn to take the deep breaths, take some time for ourselves, tune ourselves down. So let's think about what we can do, because that can cause endocrine disruption and hormone imbalance too. So one of the things that I used is that sleep essence. Rutavala under the nose is good. And then if I need a supercharged one, I do the Immu Pro chewables. Oh, sorry. The chewables. And so that's very, very helpful. Okay, so now we're back to moving our little house toward the house of bricks. And we've gone through the nutrition now, and we are starting to be stronger and stronger in our lifestyle approach. So now as we start to close, before we started, I asked you to pick 2 issues that you were currently wondering about, and we are going to talk about balance. And then maybe if you were taking notes, maybe there was a couple oils that you found might be helpful to you, and maybe a couple supplements. So kind of keep those in mind now as we begin to close. Realize that lifestyle choices become our health our health assurance. And so that's very important that we look at investing in our health assurance. So how do we do that? Lifestyle action number 1, we want to create a healing home. Minimize the exposures to toxic chemicals by removing them, and create a healthy home by creating an environment conducive to good health. Choose all natural cleaners, personal care, and essential oils, and that will be an amazing result for you. If you want vitality, it starts with the healing home and moving beyond green. So as we take a look at step number 1, this little book, Aroma Home, now goes into the fact, and benefits of moving into creating a healing home. Again, it's a $4.95 booklet filled with great information on how to create that aroma home, a healing home. It has, absolutely phenomenal science information, very easy to read. It has charts in there. It has a guide. What do I use now? What do I need to change, and why I need to change it? Like, what system am I worried about? The charts are amazing, you guys. This little book is phenomenal. Make sure that you get 10 or 15 and make sure your whole neighborhood has that so they know, and then show them how to get the Thieves cleaning line. Because when we go beyond green, we're going to make a huge impact to our family's cognitive function. We're going to make an impact to our hormone balance. We're going to make an impact for our vitality. So again, you can get that www.discoverlsp.com. If you're a preferred member of Life Science, you get them for $3.50. What a great investment and gift to give out to others. Lifestyle action number 2, create vitality with oil-infused nutrition. If you remember anything tonight, I hope you remember why oil-infused nutrition is powerful. And if we flood our body with nourishing, restorative, essential nutrients, our bodies are going to respond. Healthy foods and oils support the natural cleansing processes of the body, or you can even use the Ningxia Red and Balance Complete for an intentional cleanse. There's a lot of people who do a 5-day cleanse, or a juice cleanse, whatever you read up on. But even if you just take it as a normal part of your regimen, it's a great tonic. That I love using it that way. And let's nourish and nurture our bodies. As I said before, just a reminder, the Aroma Clean will help you in understanding cleansing the body may be equally as important as cleansing your home. And now lifestyle action number 3, diffuse daily. Our olfactory system is the most important sense that we have. Smell triggers memories, and it evokes and releases emotions. Now, take note. This is another newsflash. Smells, aromas, trigger memories. So there's a connection there. And or if you use an oil, it can evoke or even release emotions. So, of course, diffusing helps you breathe easier. It's balancing. It's soothing physically and emotionally. It's a healthy alternative to candles. Please do not use candles. Very poisonous. Diffusing is mood elevating, it's relaxing, and it helps to instill good sleep. There's one more handy dandy little book called Aroma Family. It's a DIY type of booklet, and it's filled with recipes for every member of the house. It's divided into men, women, children. But here's some fun little diffuser recipes. Homework helper, deep, breathe deep, afternoon clarity, pick me up. So take a picture of this slide and you can find some very handy dandy little recipes to put in your diffuser. When my kids were young, the diffuser was on when they came home from school. It's one of the best things you can do for your family. And you can also put it in the room while they're doing their homework. Excellent. And then for preparing for a sleep routine, it's very, very wonderful. So lifestyle action number 4, choose quality essential oils. Your starter kit, if you, this is your first time learning about Young Living tonight, the essential oil starter kit is one of the best decisions you will ever make. And you can see by the photo, you can have gorgeous skin, happy muscles. Purification says no more stink. That was one I had to use for my little puppy tonight. Happy tummies with the Digize. Lemon uplifts the spirits. Thieves, definitely this time of year. Happy immune function. You need to get that on your feet and breathe that in the diffuser. So choose quality essential oils. It makes a huge difference. Don't go to the store and buy your essential oils. You don't know what you're getting. It's worth the quality to choose Young Living. Here's what you get in the premium starter kit. It's a dynamite deal. You get over $300 worth of stuff for $160. So you get 10 of the premium oils in this collection and 1 bonus oil, which is the Stress Away, which is vanilla and lime and cedarwood. Oh my gosh, it's just yummy. And then you get some Ningxia Red to try and some sample bottles. And if you choose the diffuser on the 2 diffusers on the left, those are free with this starter kit. And then you just have to add a few dollars to get the kind of the more luxury diffusers, if you like. So that's the way. And the person where you're sitting at their living room tonight, they'll be able to show you how to get this starter kit. If you would like to do that, it's you will never look back. It's just amazing. And the other thing I want to share with you is I love saving money, and I know most of us do. And so one of the things I would encourage you to look at is something called Essential Rewards. Here's why. Now, don't look at this screen. Close your eyes for a second and just listen to my words. People are already buying shampoo, toothpaste, cleaning products, lotions, face cleansers, all of this stuff. You are already buying that somewhere. So you already have a budget for that. So what I say, whatever that budget is, if it's $50 a month that you're spending on it, maybe it's $100 a month, but you're already spending that. What I would highly recommend is take that same budget that you're already spending and just use that in your own Young Living account. Now here's why. If you set up your own Young Living account and you spend that $100 through your own account, Young Living gives you free stuff. So for example, you can see, now you can open your eyes and now look at this screen. The first month, 1 through 3, you get 10% back. So I'm just going to use $100 for easy math. But if you spend $100, you get $10 to spend free on some product. In the 4th month, you're a loyal customer. And remember, I know you're already buying this stuff somewhere, so why not get the free stuff? So now on the 4th month, you spend $100. Instead of 10, you're going to get $20. $20 in a bank, a little bank account, and you get to spend that whenever you want to, free. So I get all these products free all the time, and I use them as samples. I love to give them away as gifts. It's so awesome. Sometimes even splurge on something that I don't normally get for myself so that I can try something. So it's really cool. And then I've been a member over 25 months, so I get 25% back now for every order that I do. So it's probably the best reward system out there. You know, we all get those credit card rewards. That's less than 5%. Gas cards, those are less than 2% normally. Young Living gives 10% back right away, and in the fourth month, you get 20% back. That is generous to me. So I love Young Living. So can you think of anyone in your life that would benefit from this information? Well, I recorded this tonight, so I'll have the link up on my Connie Marie Inc. Facebook page later. So you can check on that and then share the link with your friends. All across the globe. Now, this is my little hometown in Bemidji, but everybody across the globe is having a Live Your Passion rally October 14th. There's one in Singapore. There's one in Europe. There's one, I mean, they're all over the world. There's hundreds and hundreds of them in the US. There's some in Mexico. So I think I can't remember the exact amount, but there's over 2,000 of these rallies going on globally, affecting hundreds of thousands of people. So if you are near a place, go to the rally. And if you're not near any place, go to the events page, go down and sign up as a host, and host yourself and your friend. The two of you can have a rally by yourself. But the information is phenomenal and you'll want to be there. So think about that. So if you have questions, or if you don't know who I am, you can connect with me. My website is conniemarieinc.com. My Facebook pages, my personal page is Connie Marie McDaniel. I spell out my whole name. That's my personal page. My product page, where you're going to go to get the link, is Connie Marie Inc. And then if you're on my team only, we have a business community called Entrepreneurlers, where we teach business and we show you how to do campaigns and so on. So that's a place where you can find me and ask your questions if you want to. So now I'm back with you and I can see all of your lovely faces and everybody's awake. It's amazing. That's wonderful. 90 minutes, you guys. You are awesome. You stayed with me. Thank you so much. So I hope that you have enjoyed our learning together. When I hang up here, some of you have people in your living room. You can stay and chat a little bit. Make sure you ask good questions. And if your host can't answer them, I'll kind of look at my Facebook page after this and try and answer as many as I can, but I will get back to you. Remember, I cannot diagnose, treat, or prescribe or anything, but if you just have a support question, I'm happy to do that. And also your host is going to show you, if you haven't gotten your membership yet, they'll help you set that up tonight. It's going to be the best decision you guys have made. You will never regret that. So go ahead and try out one of the starter kits. They're fantastic. If you're already a member, please pass this message along, share this link, and let's impact women's lives. We, as a group of women, we have such talent and we recognize that in one another, but we want to take this message of physical health and emotional power and get ourselves balanced so we can be the best that we can be and healthy and strong and emotionally stable, and we can go out there and serve our communities and make a huge difference in this world. So more power to you, ladies, and blessings to each and every one